The Civil War is only 7 days old. Lieutenant General Winfield Scott, a veteran of the War of 1812 and the Mexican-American War, is in command of the entire Federal Army at this point in time. On April 19, 1861, General Scott proposes a strategy to President Lincoln which calls for a naval blockade of all southern seaports and an amphibious advance along the line of the Mississippi River. The goal of this plan is to tighten the noose on the Confederate economy and split the South in two. This strategy would become famously known as the Anaconda Plan and was heavily shut down by critics. However, President Lincoln stuck to this plan throughout the war. The plan called for a blockade that stretched 3,000 miles, which was far beyond what the Federal Navy was capable of, being that the Union only had 90 ships and 40 were combat capable. Instead, old ships were filled with stone and sunk in blockading positions around southern harbors to buy time for engineers to lay down a new fleet of warships, and hundreds of civilian ships were pressed into service as gunboats as well. This blockade is said to have been quite effective and vital to the outcome of the war. With this blockade in place, the South was cut off from the outside world and supplies were much harder to obtain. It is also said that without the Anaconda Plan, casualties of the Civil War would have been far greater. Meanwhile, the state of Maryland is greatly divided between pro-secessionist and pro-Union supporters. The 6th Massachusetts Infantry is passing through Baltimore en route to Washington, D.C. in the wake of the Southern armies forming across the Potomac River in Northern Virginia, which had just seceded on April 17th. The angry pro-Confederate supporters began harassing the Federal soldiers, first verbally, but soon escalating to throwing rocks and bottles. Soon it got out of control as gunshots erupted and a riot started. The incident ended with 4 soldiers killed and 36 wounded, and more than a dozen civilian deaths. The Pratt Street Riot is believed to have been the first bloodshed of the Civil War. Northerners were angered at the events that had just taken place. Maryland, along with 3 other states where slavery had not been outlawed, would remain loyal to the Union. The other 3 being Missouri, Kentucky, and Delaware.